Beautiful blessings, everyone. I've been very drawn today. I don't know if anybody else has experienced this shift. And I know we've been hearing about the ascension and the new earth and the golden age and all of this stuff for decades now. And I know some of us have been like, well, when does it happen? What is it like? What does it feel like? And so I really believe that this is something that happens in a collective shift on one level, but then our individual lights kind of jump a timeline or level up a little bit in our own space. I believe that it's the last reading I did, there was a lot of mention about the different levels in the now that are all here vibrating kind of in just shifts of awareness that's all around us, that the dimensions are right here. It's just attuning to which level or dimension that we are attuning to. And so I'm kind of understanding now that there isn't just this major shift where they've been talking about it again for a very long time, about the shift and the moving into the 5D and the new earth and the golden age. But there's also things going on in our own awareness and consciousness that's shifting up, 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 or out, 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 whichever beautiful possibility that you could imagine it to be in our physical plane to try to understand it. So not only is there the grand shift or awakening or ascension, whatever that we want to call it, but on our own light journey here, there's an expansion. And it's not all at once. It's not all at the same time. It's when we're ready. And I can honestly say that since the solar eclipse, it's been very, very different. I can say that I have myself experienced everything being very, very present, meaning that before there was a lot of moments where I had to sit in the stillness and consciously expand my awareness in order to connect, spend a little bit of that time, or what we call time, really just sitting in the stillness to do this. And I don't want to say concentrate, but shift. I had to do it consciously. And I'd say since the eclipse now, it's almost like there isn't a need to do any of that. It just is. That there's no need to shift the awareness, that it's all, right in the moment. And so it doesn't take as much kind of and everybody will know what I'm saying when we're doing this, where you have to kind of make your awareness far, far out beyond and make our light more expansive so we can connect. It feels like that's where this is now. And the experiences are very simple. It's just a constant connection of this, as where before, I would say a miracle, or maybe say it was phenomenon or something paranormal, if lack of a better term, to give them some kind of context, where now it's just always flowing. It's always flowing. To connect with the guides or see the angels, it's always there. It's not something I have to go into. It just is. And so with that, I'd like to do a reading from the Lyran Oracle. I feel like that that energy is very broad and vast, and some of the ancients have been around recently, and I would like to ask them for some guidance from all of us. So first I would like to say thank you to Source for allowing me to be a medium of light. And I ask our ancients, our star family, to please step forward and help me bring a message for the highest good. Thank you. Okay. Like I said, I feel like that maybe a lot of people are relating to this right now. That's why I'm reaching out in the video and speaking about this experience, because just hearing and seeing things and seeing events coming in the timeline are just natural now. It feels like you just know. And not so much that we're constantly going to be able to shift everything, but it's just to recognize how broad awareness really is. Okay. I'm just going to take one. It flies out of the deck. I take it. And this is card number 2, Flow. Surf the polarities of consciousness. This is fascinating because this is what I mean, that it's just something comes into the awareness now, and it's right there is the answer. Is there's no waiting and asking and praying or looking for it. It's right here, right before. And so I'm going to read from the book because I'm still getting used to the messages of this, but it's really amazing, the flow, because that's kind of what it's been feeling like. That before it was kind of a feeling that, well, I have to really be still, and I really have to expand that awareness and connect and set my intention. And now it just feels like it's natural, that it's always connected, it's always flowing. Okay. So number 2. Dear human, you have walked down so many winding roads in this existence called life, confronting moments of sheer joy and then moments full of doubt that have led to questioning your very existence. You have sometimes wondered if this life makes any sense, and then have had moments of pure inner enlightenment where everything makes sense. Through this evolutionary journey of constant ups and downs, you've begun as a starseed to train yourself to access the equilibrium held as a field taught by many of the masters on your plane. This planet you reside on, with its gravitational pull, creates a force of polar opposites that your species gets to experience. Although this training can feel intense in many ways, it also leads to high levels of advancement, where one is trained to merge all the polarities to the state of middle ground. This is a state that is not too affected by the highs or lows, but tapped into a neutrality that is able to bridge polarities, a unification, and see the connection of one event leading to another event in a divine dance, just as night leads to day. The card of flow arrives when, rather than constantly react to what is occurring right now, you're being guided to remain calm as you allow waves of life to ride you to the divine destination. Begin to use breath as an ally when confronted with any potential situations, knowing that whatever is playing outside yourself is guiding you forward towards merging with your infinite self. This can also equate as a kind reminder to slow down on jumping into any immediate conclusions and take a much-needed pause, knowing that the intelligence of the universe is seeking to provide greater wisdom. Ride the polarities of consciousness. And that is absolutely And it's interesting because I've been getting a lot of messages recently too about the water and the waters of life and the living waters. And there was a beautiful message that came through the other day about with the fog and the misty rain in the air and how that amplifies our energies, whether it's we're in a negative space or a positive space, it lifts that charge. And the polarities of consciousness is they're also speaking about the duality and how as we're flowing and we're learning to flow, as I said, I've been able to shift into this space now where it's not having to sit and bring myself into the awareness and consciously expand the awareness. It just is. It's flowing. It's very peaceful. It's very prevalent. And I always use the term, it's very in the now. And so, and they're saying something about meeting ourselves. And so they're saying as we flow and as we come into this space where it's more of an easy shift in polarities, where we're not so much focused on the duality anymore, and we don't need such contrast to experience, you know, where they say dark and light, or the divine masculine, the divine feminine polarities. Any of those dances, the yin and the yang, we're not so focused on that density anymore, that our learning process has changed. So what they are saying is we're starting to meet ourselves. And I guess what they're meaning by that is we're starting to meet ourselves in the other realities that we are starting to open up to. We're starting to no longer look at ourselves with the contrast. We're not seeing that we're abundant. We're not seeing we're lacking. We're not seeing that we're finding our purpose or we're not finding our purpose. When we're meeting ourselves, we're mirroring ourselves. We're at that perfect place of balance. So there's no need for that anymore. There's been a lot of attention coming in on karma too, that a lot of people have been, they're speaking about, a lot of people are saying that it's been very heavy, and there's been a lot of illnesses and things that seem very harsh, almost like we're living 10 lifetimes in one lifetime. And some people have said that they're really feeling like this is their last life. And so the no longer needing the karma is that we don't have to work on the scales of justice anymore. There's not so much having to see the both sides of everything. There's no needing to see the duality. We're kind of walking in the middle ground now. We've centered in that. And so when we're experiencing something now, it's from the 180, 360. We want a little more than that. Where they're saying it's the 180, it's the full circle. And so there isn't going to be, with this new experience and this new energy and what they say the shifts, when those of us are experiencing that now, and we're ready, we're in that place, we've stepped into this space, that we're not going to have to see both sides of everything. You know, we're not going to have to be the person who got the job and now we have to be the person that loses the job, or we're the person that has to have the highs and lows, where oh, I know everything's going really good, well, now we have to go through the cycle, and I know everything is going to be bad for a while, but it'll get much better again. And they're kind of saying that this cyclic way of living is starting to dissipate, and we're meeting ourselves. We're very centered. We're no longer working with duality. We're in a balanced space, and it's just going to flow from here. So any of the experiences that we're going to start to have with this new awareness in the now, the new expanded awareness. It's not so much having to concentrate and expand ourselves to get there. It's going to flow. It's natural. And we're going to see that the way we experience teachings and lessons here is going to start to change, because it's going to be in the moment. Everything is going to make sense. It's going to be clear. We're not going to have to say, well, now I know what it's like to be the lower on the totem pole. I'm starting off the job and I'm got to work my way up, so to speak. We're going to be right in the middle. We're going to be able to see what it's like from every perspective. And so any choice or any experience or any space of awareness that we're approaching things with is going to be from that 180 view. It's going to be very clear. We'll be able to move into challenges with others with a very clear view, a higher perspective. It's not going to have to be where we have to kind of always hear both sides of the story, so to speak, in order to make a clear decision. It's just going to flow natural. We're going to step right into that. We're going to understand. And it's going to be from a very centered place of compassion and love. And it's always going to be flowing for the highest good. And so they're pulling back their energy. And it's a beautiful thing to know that our star family is there with us right now. Wherever we're from, it doesn't matter. This is the Lyran Oracle deck, but this pertains to all of us that are on this specific path. And we have our certain purpose here, what we're doing. So I hope everybody has experienced the absolutely beautiful polarity shift through this. I guess you would call it a gate, portal. I'm not sure with the terminology with that one from the eclipse, but it feels like this is what we came to do. It really feels like that now. It feels like we're there. We're in that. We're doing this now. This is it. And it's beautiful. And I'm so honored and grateful to share this with so many beautiful hearts out there. So thank you so much for allowing me to share this message. Much love, everyone. Have a wonderful day.